Praise the Lord. I want to speak on behalf of the Campbell's family. The Campbell's been over here, been in Mount Pilgrim Church about 60 years. And most of the oldest one was here when Brother Hinton came. We have a lot of memories of Brother Hinton as a young man when he came. When he came, we started liking him right off because when he went to preaching, we listened. And we were singing behind him and on the fourth Sunday. And I was saved, a little weak, but I knew that I had to, every time he preached, tears just falls down my eyes, and I just thank God that I got saved under Reverend Hinton. And he been in the family through all our hardship, through the deaths, and he's been always been right there with us. And I remember, I was really close to my sister, my youngest sister. And when my sister passed, I was like devastated. And Brother Hinton looked at me when I was coming out of the church. He said, "Sister Newkirk, it's gonna be all right." And I looked at the pastor and said, "It is." I just was so devastated. And from that time on, I knew he was praying because God had brought me thus far. And I thank God for him and his wife. And Janet, she just a joy. I don't talk to her that much, but she smiles and she will greet you, and she don't take, it's no little you and big her. We all the same. That's the way my pastor is, and he make us all feel that we's all somebody. I thank God that I know him as a pastor, a leader, and a friend. He's a God-fearing man. I know that.
Well, when I first came to start attending Mount Pisgah, I noticed that every time I would go by and speak to Janet, she was always smiling. She would speak. And so this particular Sunday, like when service turned out, everybody had to go down the aisle and speak to the pastor and Janet. So this particular Sunday, when I went down there, and she says, "Linda, don't you move." I said, "I got to move out the other people's way." I said, "Because they got to speak to you." She said, "I'm talking about stand right here." She said, "Stand right here." So I waited till everybody came down and spoke, and then once I got my turn to talk to her, we was lining up back there on that back row, and so we talked until Pastor come out his study. And I mean, that's the way the bond started growing as a friendship. And so then later on, as time grew on, I heard about Pastor, he was going to certain people's houses to eat on Sundays. So I said, okay, I might have a piece of that. And so I went to Deacon Williams and I asked him, I say, "Deacon Williams, how do I go about inviting Pastor to the house?" And so he said, "What you do, you go to Deacon Sanders." I said, "Okay." So I went to Deacon Sanders, and he told me how to go about inviting him. And so that first Sunday that I invited him to the house, I mean, the bond grew even closer because we had some good times around the table. And I mean, he's just a loving pastor, and he have always been there, and just like when I first started coming, I wasn't no member, and my daddy, he was in the nurse home. And so Pastor come by the house, and he showed up, and I said, dog, I'm not even a member, but Pastor is showing up here to see me. And so when I went to the nurse home to see my father, and then Pastor seen me out there, and he said, because he used to go out there and see Miss Hattie. And so Pastor seen me out there. He said, Sister King, who you out here to see? I said, my father's in here. And so he went around, and he prayed for my daddy. And I tell you what, every time that something always happens, Pastor always shows up. Just like when I was sick, he showed up. And I mean, you know, because I know that month I was out of church probably about the whole month. And he said, when he came to see me, he said, Sister King, he said, I noticed I hadn't seen you. He said, so I had to come and check on you. I said, Pastor, I sure appreciate you. And I mean, you know, and then the relationship between me and Janet, it just grew. And then when we sit down and have conversations, you know, she always have an encouraging word. And I mean, I just love both of them. And I just pray God's blessing on both of their lives and continue, you know, just shower down his many blessings on them, because they are especially people to me, and really God sent people. So I wish them a happy anniversary and many more.